Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Filling in the Gaps. My name is Rich from the heartland state of Ohio. And wait, do you hear that? Do you hear it? Listen close. I think, and joining me from the biggest and baddest state of Texas is Cameron. Don't scare him off though. Shh. He's a majestic creature. You don't want to scare him off. He's marking his territory right now. He's very loud and, and boisterous.
Oh, God.
But once he gets his comfortable zone, he's a real delicate creature.
Hey, everybody, let me tell you how great my state is. What's up?
Cameron,
that's what we do.
I know we took a lot of time right before this episode talking about it, but it's good to record an episode with both of us again. I know we've both been like crazy busy. So, how's it been going, friend? Even though I talk to you all the time. How's it going?
Yeah, we do. We talk all the time. But I have been making most of my time spent away has been perfecting grilled cheese sandwiches.
Dude, mayonnaise?
I've gotten to them. Ew.
Ew? No, dude, you put mayonnaise on the bread instead of butter. That's what this like grilled cheese place near me does, and it's good. It's good.
That is disgusting. Oh my God. I am so sorry.
Give it a try.
Oh, look at that. I can see our listener count going down right now as we speak.
Whoa.
So
okay,
yeah.
First I say Reese's wrong. Reese's, recess, whatever. First I pronounce candy wrong, and now I use a little bit of mayonnaise instead of butter, and it's great. It gets a lot of crisp. on there. Hey, welcome to Filling in the Gaps, where we talk all about cooking. It used to be a sports podcast. It used to be a movie podcast. Now it's cooking.
It's a poor cooking choices podcast where you use condiments on bread for no apparent reason when making a grilled cheese. Speaking of, it's our 1 year anniversary, everybody. Yeah. We didn't get tired of this after 6 months.
Yeah.
That's essentially what that is.
So good. Guys, and also if you're new, you know what? I haven't said what the show's about. If you're new, sorry, we're just having a good time. If you're new to Filling in the Gaps, if it's your first time here, first off, welcome. Sorry for that weird introduction. Hopefully you learned something new about grilled cheese. But what this podcast is all about is we are not an actual play podcast. We've been in some, and they're always awesome. We love listening to them. But we found for ourselves, running games weekly or knowing people who run games, even just bi-weekly or monthly, it can be tough to come up with ideas every single week. Sometimes you just need something to give you a spark of inspiration. Cam said just today he borrowed some characters from a Critical Role episode. I know I've done the same thing. As DMs, we just need that inspiration to keep our stories going. That's what this podcast is. We take two random, either a theme, a scenario, or a monster. We take two randoms from either of those tables, mash them together, and just talk for 45 minutes on what would you do in this scenario. We've had a bunch of cool people tell us they've used some of our ideas in their sessions, which is awesome. But we would say that we don't plan for these things to be things you run like play by play or quote by quote. They're just here so that you can get something to run with. Please steal an idea, change it. We hope that halfway through the episode you actually stop paying attention to us and you're in your mind, in your own little world, thinking how this would affect your party and your players and what you would do with it. So that's Filling in the Gaps in a nutshell. That and cooking advice.
Yes, and sports advice. And
game spoilers.
Yes, 100% in game spoilers. And here's my favorite part about that entire movie is and then when the guy...
Wait, Cam, you're breaking up?
But
Wait, what?
And he chops the guy's...
Oh.
But then he grabs his head and he... Yeah, that was honestly the best part.
I think you broke up a little bit. Either that or we'll go back and we'll edit out all the spoilers. That way people, don't get upset or anything like that.
Yeah, 100%. So first off, before we get started, I know that we're early on in our time in Filling in the Gaps. We were told to hurry up and speed it up and get to the roles so we can. We don't want to hear none of your personality life stuff, guys. We want to hear you talk about stories and get on with it.
Dance for us, Cam. Dance for us, Rich. Perform the act.
However, being that it's our 1 year anniversary. I wanted to first off ask you, what was one of your favorite memories from this whole time? From this whole year.
Man, I didn't even expect this at all. You're making me shoot from the hip.
You could look at. I did send you a script in the email if you need to.
Oh shoot!
Check that out.
Okay, I like Cam a lot. He's handsome
100%.
and strong, and I feel most comfortable in his warm embrace. Yeah, I like that.
Correct.
Let's go with that. No, I'd say for me, I always love. I love whenever we get to have a guest on. I think it's a lot of fun. It's cool. Yeah. I mean, when me and you are friends, so we talk all the time. So sometimes it just becomes for us like less of a, or at least for me, doing it all the time, it just becomes, that's something I do with Cam. But when we get to talk to a guest or talk to even some people in the Discord who throw out their ideas, and it just becomes much more of like this is actually something cool that we get to do and people enjoy for some weird reason, for some really weird reason. There's a lot of messed up people who enjoy this for some reason. But I think that's it for me, is being able to see that our weird, dumb brainstorming actually helps people. So that's been cool for me.
I can take two things from this. We've made some friends, like actual friends, from this podcast, which I never expected in a million years. I did not expect anybody to listen, or at least care all that much. But we've really had a lot of people that have enjoyed it and utilized ideas that have been born from the ideas that we've created here. And the beautiful thing is that they've created it on their own. And I think that the most important thing for me has been that essentially we just allowed people to open up the door inside of themselves to see like, oh, that's who I am. That's what I can create. Mm-hmm. I have all these amazing ideas. All we had to do was just give them the nudge in that right direction. One of my favorite memories, though, from this entire time that we've done this so far is someone said that they ran the haunted school, our first episode.
Aww.
They ran the haunted school with their little sister, and it was her first time ever playing D&D.
Nothing says little sister memories like a school full of dead children. Just
I mean that's the way to do it, honestly. So, but it was their first time playing D&D. It was their first time DMing, and the person told me that their little sister was excited, scared, happy, sad. And at the end, she was incredibly happy and had a blast playing. Aww. And to think to myself, and it blew me away, but the fact that the first time someone played D&D was born of an idea that we created in a way was such an impactful moment to me that I knew it was so much more than just like two dudes talking about a story. It was us helping people see the greatness and their ability, their story, in themselves, and it felt so great. And that's why I've always been so happy that people tune us out and all that kind of stuff, because it's just it was a beautiful thing. So
you know what,
we are so thankful.
Seriously, this should be the tagline for this show. Two not so creative idiots show you that you too can be creative. Because that's kind of what
pretty much.
It's pretty much. I hope that you guys are just like, oh, these guys like play these games weekly, and they're not all that special. Like, I don't have to be. I love Matt Mercer. I love these guys who we watch on Twitch as like professional D&D players. But you know what? For you to have fun with your friends, you don't gotta do that. Just do whatever you do. Have fun. Like, take a chance, and your friends are gonna love it. So I don't know.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's my encouragement.
Well, I think we can both just sit here and say we are incredibly grateful, thankful,
and we have about 50 more minutes of time to do that. So let's just
let's do it.
Let's just do it.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, with that being said, I have one other thing I wanted to say.
Anything can.
It's important. Shall we roll?
Let's do it. The 1 year anniversary roll. Oh man, this dice in my hand just got so heavy. Like thinking about that this is the 1 year dice roll. So today I am rolling for our themes. Cam, you're rolling on our new Monsters table. We've only done one episode with the Monsters table, and we just had a new edition today of the Minotaur Skeleton, brought to us by Sci-Fi Fist. New on the Discord. Hey, welcome. But let's go ahead. Let's do this thing.
Here we go. Let's go.
Cam, I rolled a 20.
You rolled a 20?
I pulled a Cam and I rolled a natural 20.
That's so fitting for this.
Okay, so what'd you get?
I rolled a 16.
You rolled a 16? So you got Quicklings. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say for the 20, we are going to do well, you know what? We're going to do I'll let you announce what we do. I'm going to go ahead and tell the people what this roll is brought to us by, what 1 year of rolls is brought to us by. Guys, we have a fantastic sponsor, Libris Arcana Dice. They've been with us for almost a year now, celebrating every single random roll on our tables. If you're ever looking for new dice, I encourage you to check them out, librisarcanadice.com. They don't sell dice in individual packs, but they do sell them as a monthly service. So you will get a set of dice shipped to your door every month, or 3 sets every 3 months. And if you use our promo code FITG, you'll get 25% off your first order. So go ahead, give them a check out, check them out, see what you think. But their dice are pretty sweet, so we highly recommend them. But Cam, what is our episode gonna be about today?
First off, God bless you. You have literally hot read that ad the entire time we've ever done this show.
Oh yeah, no script, baby.
We could have recorded that ad a long time ago and just plugged it in, but no, you hot read, and it's incredible. It's a new adventure for me each time. So I must say. So lizard folk, none of our monsters are brought to us by anybody. If you'd like to have your name claimed on a monster, put your name in the list. Just go on our Discord, go on Twitter, say, look, hey, this is the monster I'd love to hear. Yeah. If it's on the list already, I'll put your name next to it. I don't care. So we had the lizard folk, right? No, quicklings. Sorry.
Quicklings, okay.
Quicklings.
A quickling, yes. Interesting. And Faye. Okay.
Yes. And the theme that we're going to be using this week is a drunken adventure.
A drunken adventure with a quickling. Okay, so quicklings, I think they've been around for a while. They're not new to 5e at all, but they got published, I believe, in Volo's Guide to Monsters, if I'm correct. But this is what we're going to do. So whenever me and Cam do a monster episode, we want to make sure that we know what we're talking about. We just don't want to, talk out of our butts like we normally do. We want to make sure we're bringing you the correct lore for these monsters. So why don't you go ahead, sit back for a second. Cam will soothe you with his amazing voice during a small cut that we make as me and Cam read through our monster manuals and come back prepared and ready to go.
Cameron and Rich are going to read some shit. Stuff. No more bad words. They'll be back soon.
Okay, Cam, you ready? We got to enter back into the podcast, okay? Hold my hands.
Here we go.
You ready? Okay, we're back in. Okay, we had to enter back in through the podcast portal. Sorry that took a little longer than normal. The connection was hard today. The forces at bay tried to stop our 1 year celebration, but we're back. We're back as quick as ever to talk about quicklings. Okay, Cam, you had said when we researched about quicklings, a few things popped out to you. Tell us, what's on your mind? What comes to your mind when you think of quickling and a drunken adventure?
So the first thing that came to my mind was quicklings owe their existence and their plight to the Queen of Air and Darkness, the dread ruler of the gloaming court. That was the first one. The second one was that quicklings are always causing mischief, but they are also seeking out like higher level mischief as well. For example, stealing important letters and things like that. So those are the first things that came to my mind. What do you see inside of a quickling that you could sort of like sink your hooks into and go, I can pull a story out of this monster out of this way?
Gotcha. Okay, so I would say for me, a quickling, I don't think, if this helps as DMs, you ever have one of those nights where you just need something to kind of spicing things up? You need a little spice. This session's getting kind of bland. You need a little spice. You've been fighting the big bad evil guy for a while. Everything's been super dramatic, and now you just need something spicy to kind of bring some life. I think that's a quickling. I don't see a quickling as being a boss or a big bad or anything like that. I see them as being maybe a henchman to the big bad. But I think they're chaotic evil. I think that means they don't necessarily serve anyone. They might, but I would use a quickling just as an interesting distraction. We got the big artifact. Yeah, it's awesome. Let's go present it to the king. Cool. I go up and I show the king, and it's like you're reaching through your bag, and you're like, what? I can't Like, okay, hey, sorry, I must have dropped it. Let me go find this. Or you've got this important letter, or you go back to your house and you don't have a key, or you keep falling off your horse for some reason. Like the Quickling's there because it wants to just kind of ruin your day, or ruin your life, or ruin your quest. But I don't necessarily know if it's ruining it because it's working for the big bad. I think it just is like, I could ruin these guys' lives by doing this.
I think you're on to the right track here. So it has to be, this is a great quest ender. Or not ender, but a quest,
Transitioner?
if you go to like the DMG. Yeah, transitioner. It's like the in-betweeners.
Yeah.
This would be a lot of fun to introduce maybe a fun, quirky NPC that could be a long-term NPC. It could just be a one-time thing. But the way I see it is your players have just captured the artifact and everybody's like, yes, we've done it. We've beaten the big bad. We've done our thing. Let's celebrate. And this is where the Drunken Adventure comes into play.
Ooh,
and everybody's
right.
just like, hey! And they're just getting hammered. And and I don't know of many players that would pass up playing beer pong.
That's the thing.
With
the tavern sessions. Everyone loves tavern sessions.
Everybody loves tavern sessions. So play beer pong with a dwarf with a giant battle axe. It's like, I only want to fight. And you're like, well, I'm going to call Ireland, and if your elbow goes past the end of the table, bro, we're going to have a problem.
Exactly.
But, yeah, so I think that if you have these like really fun party sessions, like with the drinking and everything like that, you can absolutely 100% have the, oh, dude, what did we do last night? And then go, wait a second, where's the artifact? And there's your hook right there,
dude. Even a Quickling starting a bar fight, like, you have you have one of your players like, hey, roll a dexterity check, and a Quickling has, first off, +8 to acrobatics, +8 to sleight of hand, and +8 to stealth. So you just like, okay, hey, roll a dexterity check real quick. And you're like, okay, I fail. It's like, oh, well, okay, you feel something tug at your belt, and you reach down and you notice your coin purse is gone. And when you turn around, you see that it's sitting on, like, it's in this other guy's pocket. And your player probably is going to stop to say, maybe something else moved that coin purse. They're going to be like, hey, what are you doing with my coin purse, you thief? Start some trouble.
I love it.
Or do that vice versa. Like the Quickling is going to move something into one of your players' pockets, and the guards are going to show up and get involved. And then this next morning, after they've had this bender, like you said, after they wake up just exhausted and tired, that's when like one of them has like marker all over their face, or one of the like this artifact is missing. The wizard's spell book is gone, or the barbarian's like weapon is tied to the ceiling, or something like that. That's just like, what the heck? Who's got a problem with us?
It's even better. It's like the barbarian's axe is in the wall 30 feet up, and he's all, what did we do last night? Yeah. And I would love if I did this, if I ran this campaign, and they woke up drunken the next morning, each of them would have like Sharpie on their foreheads, not quick enough in some way, spread across their foreheads or something like that. I think it would be amazing as well, like, just if I want to add on more of what you were talking about with the bar scene, of like, if the Quickling was able to sort of move people around in a way with their speed, to where you do a dexterity check, you fail, and then the player looks and sees a guy with an unassuming sort of confused face punching you directly in the face, like the Quickling's just like moving people around with all of its speed and everything like that. And so everybody's like, wait, why am I punching you?
See, okay, so here's the thing for all you guys who are listeners. A Quickling is a tiny fey creature. We're talking maybe knee high, probably smaller than a gnome or a hobbit would be. Just a little dude, and very, very scrawny, bright blue skin, almost like a little bit of electricity around the eye. Think like the Flash, like thick white hair pulled back. But these suckers are quick. Okay, so the average, Cam, how what's the movement speed for an average humanoid in Dungeons and Dragons?
30 feet.
30 feet. A Quickling in one round can move 120 feet without taking the dash action. with the dash action, this sucker can move 240 feet. Like Quicklings don't see time the way we see it. The raindrops fall like snowflakes. Hurricanes like move as slow as turtles. Lightning, they can almost like see the lightning being drawn in the sky. It doesn't flash for them. They move so quick that if they don't want to, they don't have to be seen. And that also is reflected in their hit points. Like they deal a whopping on a hit, they'll do 8 damage. They can make 3 dagger attacks, so they can do a good 24 damage a turn. But they have 10 hit points and a 16 armor AC. So they're only a challenge rating 1. They do have a feature that makes it so that any attacks made against them have disadvantage because they're harder to hit. But that being said, for a high-level adventuring party, these suckers are not there to fight. They're not at all wanting to get into a brawl. They're wanting to mess with the party, to not be seen. Like, I think they would enjoy. They don't want to necessarily even get credit for their mischief. They want somebody else to get blamed for it so that they can just snicker and say, "Ha, mortals are stupid."
I love it. I love that. So now, okay, so we've gotten the bar scene out. It's a drunken adventure. Mm-hmm. Now it's the hangover, right? We're trying to figure out essentially what is it that happened last night. And so what kind of clues would you leave behind to sort of lead your players in the right direction of this Quickling? By the way, can we give this Quickling a name? Because it's like 100% has to be Sanic.
Sanic.
Mm-hmm.
Sanic the Quickling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're definitely calling him Sanic now.
Yeah.
And that's S-A with like a diphthong. And E-C? H-E-C. Sahanic.
Yeah, H-E-N-C.
I like it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm thinking, I think we can give some clues, but I almost love the idea of the players themselves just kind of living through this like hangover type movie. And maybe as they're even going through, I'm trying to think if the Quickling would reveal itself, or if they would just kind of let the party suffer, and the party would have to figure out like what's going on and begin to realize that even in their drunken stupor, this wasn't their doing. Like I'm thinking maybe the local kings or the local guard captain, maybe his son or daughter's like underwear or clothes wind up in the party's like bedchamber. And the king's like, what the heck? Like, they plant evidence of like, what are you doing, like messing around with like my even like husband or wife? Like, so there's all that drama.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. So there's all.
I don't know, man. That's leading to blows. I feel like that's like dead. Then we're fighting again. Do you want to take it that far?
I don't know. It depends how. I think it depends how like crazy you want this filler episode to be. I think that could add a lot of drama, or it could just be like another, and maybe you have that Casanova type character, the bard or the rogue who wants to seduce everything. Like, boom, give him that. But I don't know. I like that type of comical drama, because everyone's gonna kind of be like they're gonna assume at first that they actually did it, and they're gonna be like, oh crap, like, I did that when I passed out. Like, you got to have them making constitution checks to see who can like drink the most or not pass out.
Right.
But I don't know. So there, go ahead.
I think there should be certain things that tell stories without outwardly saying that this is like what happened.
Yes.
For example, when you wake up in the morning, there's 2 dwarves hung from the chandeliers. Mm-hmm. Passed out drunk, and then when your players wake up, they go, hey, get me down here, get me down from here, you put me up here, and like that. And then so the players are like, how did I get him up there? What the heck, or something. Or what else could there be? Man, you could just steal from the Hangover, and there could be like a giant,
that's what I'm thinking,
circus beast inside of the bathroom, or something like that.
Just little tiny weird things, like everybody's shoes are tied to the ceiling, or like certain parts of everybody's outfit are missing. Like there's some boots missing or a cloak missing or stuff like that. And they start to find these things in areas they should not be. Like maybe somebody let all of the prisoners out last night and their only evidence found was this cloak that belongs to one of the players. And they're like, no way I would have done that. Or maybe there was, someone drank a whole cellar's worth of wine. Or something like that, and the only evidence.
Or all their potion bottles had been relabeled or mixed in different vials or something like that as well.
Yep, just little things like that.
That would be great because like if a player's like, I need to take one of my potions or something like that to clear my constitution, but in reality they're rolling to take their poison or something to that nature.
Everybody's got one of the players has a big like cut spot on their hair, where there's just like a streak through their hair, like a razor, just right through their hair. Or like the barbarian who had a big beard now only has a mustache.
I love it.
Just little things like that. And I think as they go through the town, following the trail of the things that they supposedly did, I think somebody else shows up. Like maybe even the barkeep, like himself, kind of begins to start this whole like, maybe it wasn't you guys. Like adventure with it saying like maybe they know of a Quickling that's in the area, or maybe they've heard rumor of a Quickling being in the area, but there's been no proof of it. And so maybe the bartender's like, well, the town, we've had stuff like this happen before. Like it's been a while, but we've had stuff like this happen before. I think a Quickling rolls into town every now and again, just tries to make everybody miserable. The problem is no one can actually prove it's a Quickling. So all of the evidence has to, be followed. And if, it looks like you're guilty of this or, like this happened, we have to go off the evidence that we see because we can't see no Quickling.
Right. So now I'm envisioning the Quickling's lair or Sanik's lair. Neek. That's his name.
Gotcha.
It's 2 words. Neek. They call me Neek, but because he talks so fast, he goes.
He sounds like he's starting to start like a white person rap. My name is Neek, and I'm really quick. Gonna steal your stuff, cause I'm quick.
Yep, that's how it goes. That's exactly what it sounds like. Jesus. I envision Neek to have sounds like a hair product as well. Now that I think about it. Try wonderful Neek this week.
Binds quick, holds fast.
Neek, because you're beautiful. And then splash your face with water. That's how you end the commercial.
Yep.
I envision Neek's lair to have like tons of old, crazy, different artifacts and different trinkets and stuff like that.
Yep.
But let me ask you this.
Okay.
So this would be a single session thing. This is actually pretty easy to do in a single session.
Yep.
What's going on? Where does this come from? Here I've heard of a Quickling running around taking people's stuff and everything like that.
Yeah, even if you're in the middle of a dungeon, I think this is a good session for when the whole party's not there. Like you're in the middle of this dungeon, but like 2 players couldn't make it tonight, so you only have 3 players. Boom, Quickling. Quickling's just been following you through, resetting all the traps, or moving all your stuff around, or like just being a nuisance.
Yeah, for sure. So I envision this being tavern to singular area where we have a cool encounter and like a little bit of like a chase scene, but the chase scene is all confined to one building or room.
Yeah, take your player's gear.
And
then I think taking your player's gear will be big here, so they don't have high AC, so they don't have ridiculous weapons. That way, like level 5 characters who are even like them, they're big shots right now. If they don't have their armor, if they don't have their weapons, just normal bandits or normal guards all of a sudden become big deals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Okay. All your gears. Are you saying like after the tavern, all their gear is missing and
like
gone
when they
too?
wake up.
Yes. Yeah, they're completely like just in their just commoner clothes essentially the whole time. I love this. Because they're gonna feel so naked. They're gonna be like, but I'm powerful. No, you're not. You're just a person right now. That's all you are. Or a dragonborn, or a dwarf, or an elf, or a tiefling,
a humanoid,
or an Arakra. Yeah. Oh, a humanoid, right?
Yeah, you're just a humanoid.
Is that referred to? You're just a damn humanoid.
I don't know what they call people in D&D. Person?
Yeah, I know. Like all of the things. You're everything.
You know, every episode we say something that makes somebody out there scream in their car. That was it. Someone's like, you're so stupid. They're called this. Come on.
Guys, I need you to listen to me real quick, okay? They're called, you know what we're going to call them? I don't know. I was asking.
I was waiting.
I don't know.
Usually you say something like that and you have some big drop, but...
No.
Okay.
It's been 3 weeks since I recorded an episode.
So the players wake up naked of equipment, maybe even naked, like just underwear. Yes. All their stuff's gone.
That'd be hilarious. Mm-hmm. Like Lauren Johns. That'd be really funny.
And even if it's not all your party, pick the one person who will do the best with that joke. Or roll like a 1d4, and that person wakes up. Everyone doesn't have gear, but that person has nothing. Just like waking up and they're like, well, I guess I'm wearing bed sheets today.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so great. Okay, so what kind of cool store would you see? Because I envision, well, what kind of cool area? Maybe not a store. Would be a great little scene for a chase or like a, hey, look, there he is, and then run around and try to capture this guy. But because and here's why. It makes sense to me story-wise why the Quickling would stay around, even if it was seen or caught. Or not caught, but like witnessed. They love causing mischief. So this thing is going to be sprinting around, tying up shoes and tying rope around people before they even have a chance to respond, and all this kind of stuff. So he's essentially removing their ability to hurt them at all. And so... what kind of would there be a putt-putt golf course that would be really fun to do this at? Would there be in D&D?
Yeah, I'm even thinking what about even a bakery or a general store? Like a general store, all of the pumpkins or all of the watermelons or something, they've all been punched like straight through, and then the fighter's glove is stuck in one of the pumpkins, and they're like, "What the heck? Why'd you come in here and punch every single one of my pumpkins?" Or the bakery. Like every single item in the bakery has a bite out of it or has been smashed, and the wizard's something is in there, and they're like, what the heck, like what do you do, like what? So it's just like I like the idea of them walking through the town's like street, and every store they stop at, someone's like, what the heck? And maybe this town, dude, what if this checkpoint town, what if they didn't get all the way back home? They're in the middle of a quest. They stop at like a little hamlet that has a really well-known bar, and this town hates adventurers. And like even like part of the lore of this town is like every time adventurers come here, every single time they ruin everything. They wreck everything.
Yeah. Every time they show up, it's almost as if some kind of like storyteller just presents them with like major plot hooks for them to like do things and destroy our town. Yeah. It's like, what the hell?
And it's actually just this Quickling who just picks on everyone in this town relentlessly whenever heroes show up, because he can blame everything on these heroes.
I love it. And this is the motivation for the Quickling. Sanik. Hello, I am Sanik. Or actually be like, hello, I am Sanik.
That's perfect. And he loves chili dogs.
Oh, big time. Big time chili dog fan. I actually love the idea of players walking through the town and seeing the different things happening to these, like a bakery or a bank or something like that. And then our set piece is a grocery store, because I envision flour and I envision fruits and vegetables and all these different types of like food items or cleaning items or any kind of almost like a general store, like you were saying earlier, that then can be used as props for fun things inside of like a really interesting and fun fight.
Ooh, yeah. I like that too.
And instead of it, I don't want to do this as a straight up initiative fight.
No.
I'd like to do this as like a skill challenge.
Yeah, almost like a you're not hitting at HP, you're just trying to like slow this Quickling down. Like if you can like do do 4 things that slow him down.
Right. And they'll fail enough that you'll be able to get some like cool stuff in there. to be able to do that kind of stuff. You could even just do an automatic failure no matter what they roll, with the exception of a D20.
Yeah.
Or not a D20, a 20.
Like put a bunch of flour on the ground, and it lets you see where the Quickling's at because the flour's like puffing up. Or like covering...
And you'll see like small little electrified footprints left behind in the flour itself. Man, what else could you do? I actually love the idea of like a Quickling having a bunch of small fruits and like cherries and nuts and stuff like that on spoons, and then shooting them all. And since they run so fast, they jump on each one of them and they fire like catapults at the players or something. It's not really doing any damage, maybe, but you know.
What if?
What?
Okay, so what if this town is known for like a really delicious type of ale? Maybe it's like a blueberry, or there's a certain fruit that's just super sweet, and it gives the ale it just makes it so great. And I would love, like, as they enter the town, everyone's just giving them mean mugs and glaring at them. When they're drinking in the tavern, everyone's just being real rude. They'll warm up maybe a little bit. Maybe some people are okay, but kind of like the quote unquote thing that every single person says is like, hey, why does everybody hate us? Well, every time heroes roll into town, they wreck everything and they eat all the blueberries. And they're like, huh, that's weird. And then they're like, that's really weird that people would do that. And they talk to somebody else. And like this, now we're at like the bakery, and the bakery also uses blueberries for everything. And it's like, hey, why are you like charging us 5 gold for a slice of pie? Well, sorry, we just don't serve adventurers here, because every time adventurers come to town, they literally break everything and they eat all the blueberries. And so everywhere they go, they're like, why the heck are adventurers rolling into town and always consistently eating the blueberries? And they figure out that this Quickling just like loves blueberries. So maybe they could use that as like a trap almost. Like they could try to like lure this Quickling out using blueberries and try to trap him using that? Question mark?
That's good. Yeah.
Or they could just drink all the beer, and the Quickling just really likes beer.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like you're offending people because I've never heard of anybody that's been like, man, you know what made that beer a lot better? Fruit flavoring.
Hey. I'm a very divisive guy, okay? I say Reese's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't.
You do. You 100% say Reese's wrong, and I will not change my stance on that whatsoever.
I don't watch Marvel movies, and I'd say that blueberries in beer, I guess, would make it better. I don't know, Cam. That's just my thing. I was just trying to make a cool little hint.
So there they were, drinking mango beer, and
okay,
man,
moving on.
You know what this beer needs right now?
Moving on.
Some high quality mango and maybe a papaya,
and a little umbrella.
Oh, that's so great, man! And just take the beer away, and then I'm great. I just think regardless of why, you're creating a hook there, essentially, of like, okay, every single time these adventures show up, essentially what's happening is the Quickling is using that as an opportunity to then go, steal a bunch of blueberries for itself, or the blueberry meat, or whatever it may be.
Honey, beer, whatever this town produces that's special.
Right. And so the town is like, man, it's like every single time we just run out, and it always seems to be, which makes the town pretty dumb if you think about it, but because they're like, it's 50 different adventuring parties, and yet they're all interested in stealing from you. It seems a little suspicious.
Or just adventurers are terrible. Let's be honest.
There
adventurers are called murder hobos for a reason.
That is a wonderful point. That's an absolutely wonderful point. So, but nonetheless, though, that let's say that is a great example as to why people mean mugged him. Then, when all this trouble happens and all these things have sort of happened to these shops, it ties in back to your players. It sort of clicks in their mind, like, wait, somebody's framing us right now, and then they can catch a glimpse. Do it pretty simple, like a 15. Like a 15 perception check.
Oh yeah,
just like DC 15. I mean, theoretically you could fail that, but But what I'm getting at is like, sometimes the reason why at crime scenes there are clues left behind is sometimes they want to be seen. They want to be caught. They want the attention.
Like a calling card.
And I feel it. Yeah, it's like it's calling card. And I think that the Quickling
leaves little
could
gold
be like
rings.
peeking around. Yeah, looking for little gold rings. Actually, can we?
Yep. We sure can.
Yep. This is happening in a jewelry shop now. A golden ring jewelry shop. God bless America. That's incredible. When we finally come up on the end of this, when we come up to
looks like an egg, big old red mustache.
Yeah. And his name is Domo Arigato.
Yes. But yeah. Like leaving a little calling card, like a signature of sorts.
Ooh, actually, every single time, every place that they go to, there's a spinning gold ring.
I like that.
Somewhere.
I like that.
And because he spins so fast, right, that it's just like, and it's just never stopping, like Inception.
Yep.
And so, man, your players are going to be like, that's Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, once they finally see the blue, long-haired Quickling. And he's wearing red shoes.
Oh my gosh, this is so perfect.
And he got a little pet belly, and he's a hedgehog. So as our players start to recognize this guy, we'll go through some skill challenges with Sanik, and then from there, the players will be able to get to the point where they'll be able to understand its pattern and then capture Sanik. At which point they will demand that he takes them back to their lair. He will then reveal to them all the things that he's stolen and provide them with their goods, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that seems to be the way to go. Like, just a nice, easy diversion, fun little thing as they enter into the town. I'm honestly probably going to do something like this at one point.
It's a fun little diversion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you could even put little tiny hints on the inside of the ring. Like, you could put little clues of where this guy's hiding, because at this point he's never gotten caught. So he's like, at some point he got, like you say, he wants to get caught. He's just enjoying it. Or even like a high perception check, you find, little tiny, what look to be like almost footprints in the bakery. Like are these are too small to be feet? Or it almost looks like all the spilled flour in the general store. Is this like a handprint? Like, did someone draw? Did someone draw a penis? Is this a penis right here? Like, someone definitely drew this, and my hands are way too big to do. And they starting to put together. Maybe there's even like that one crazy guy in the town. It's like, little blue man. There's a little blue man who's ruined my life. Everything I do, every job I get, he shows up and he ruins my life. And they're like, okay, yeah, crazy guy, little blue man.
They're like, shut up, Cletus.
If it's
he's all, no, the little blue man.
If it's blueberries too, then you're just like, okay, guy, you're just nuts, and you think that blueberries are people, and then eventually you're like, holy crap, maybe there is a little blue man.
And someone's like, God, you sound like a crazy person.
Yeah, and every time they're like, I literally think that there might be a little person who's super fast who's framing us. They're like, oh yeah, you and the George, the actual crazy man. Like, you're starting to sound a lot like George. Oh my God!
And then it leads perfectly, because then you could have a great NPC reaction with Crazy George.
I told you, little blue man. And like, you tell him, he gets so happy.
You've seen him, haven't you? I told you I'd catch him. I told you. And he's got like the whole Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where there's like a board with like all these different lines and string around the thumbtacks leading to one particular location.
Yep. And he can help you too. Like, if you're looking for help, like for how to trap this thing, he's the guy who can give you hints. Like, and they just sound really crazy. Wire. We need to put wire everywhere. Thin wire that no one can see. It'll trip him up. I know it. Like a fly in a spider's web. And
he's got like a bunch of different traps all around his house, like little small,
my gosh, yes,
$50 size bear traps, and he's got like a a basket with hanging golden rings on the inside of it, with a little stick underneath. He's like, I'm going to catch him. I'm going to catch him one day. I swear to it. And I'm going to show every single body. I held him in my hands for 1 second, and that Quickling spat in my eyes and ran away.
I feel like, too, like, this is going to sound kind of sad because I like this NPC. But I think, like, maybe he's missing a leg. Maybe his left hand is, like, missing a few fingers. Like, and it's just like, what happened to you? And he's like, well, my first day at the lumber mill, as I was getting ready to cut down this tree, all of a sudden, behind me, there was a bear trap. And I stepped down on it, and the bear trap wasn't there before. But they all said, crazy Steve, he doesn't pay attention to where the bear traps are at. But I told him it would. And then he just like, there's all these ridiculous, my first day at the bakery, I was reaching down for this pie. And when I touched it, all of a sudden, it was blazing hot. I was hotter than any furnace. And they all said, crazy Steve doesn't know how hot pies are, and I told him it was a little blue man. And just all of these different things, and you're like, okay, this guy's maybe crazy. And then after a while, you're like, wait a minute.
It's so funny that he literally works. He's worked at like all these different places, and
I was changing the outhouses, and I fell in one day, but I knew I was pushed, and that's how I got this here infection. Just shows this terrible infection, and I all said, "Crazy Steve, he just likes swimming in the poop, but I don't. It was a little blue man."
I swear to you, I don't like swimming in the poop. Oh, man. So there I was, being a lawyer, and I was like, no, sir, he is innocent. And then all of a sudden, the gun was in my hands. I don't know what happened.
The bloody knife was in my hands, but I didn't do it. They all said, crazy Steve just likes murdering people, but it was the little blue man. I love this.
1 year anniversary, Little Blue Steve. I love it. Oh man, this makes me so happy. I'm so sorry. I'm clipping so terribly for those listeners at home.
I was too. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, 1 year anniversary.
Oh man. Yeah.
Still clipping.
Hey, well, for 1 year, y'all put up with my mic just going.
Yep.
As I'm like trying to have a conversation, and it's happened probably sometime. Hopefully, like ironically, it happens while I made those sounds.
I hope.
Wouldn't that be great?
I hope.
It's like sticking it to the mic, man. That'd be right.
But dude, I don't know.
Crazy
Steve. They all said it was my microphone going bad, but it wasn't. They all said Cam doesn't know how to use a microphone, but it was Little Blue Man. You're capturing his footsteps.
There I was, recording a podcast, and then this little blue man starts tippy-tapping on my microphone, and then everyone says that I have a bad microphone, but it wasn't me, I swear to you.
It was a little blue man. Oh, I love this.
Oh,
I love this. Okay, so Quickling, Neek the Quickling, just terrorizing this town, blaming it on adventurers. Mm-hmm. This is such a good filler. Like, I think this would be a great episode to run. Either, like, after, whether if some of your adventurers aren't there, some of your party members aren't there, and you need a filler, or if you just need, like, where you sense, like, sometimes I tend to go real hot and heavy with my sessions. Everything's dramatic. Everything's life or death. Everything matters. Sometimes it's good just to have a session where it's like a goof session.
Yeah, that's me 95% of the time.
That's why we balance each other out real good. Real well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can hear that in our characters, actually. Well, actually, what's funny is that Chunk in Heritage over on Coventry. By the way, guys, if you haven't listened, we're two actors on the Coventry podcast. We're playing two characters. Yeah, we've never really talked about that on the show. No. You can go check that out. It's Coventry podcast, and we're playing in the Heritage arc right now as I'm Calvin, a elemental superpower kid, and Rich is this giant beast.
I'm Chunky.
Yeah, he's named Chunk. But Chunk's like a fun character, and Calvin's more of the straight and narrow one. If you think about it, like Chunk is definitely the comic relief of the show.
That's true.
Believe it or not.
Which originally I didn't mean him to be that, but I should have planned on it.
You're Chris Farley. So, I'm Crazy Steve. That's my next character in any show we ever do. I'm Crazy Steve. So let's do this then.
Okay.
Let's do a summary.
Oh, that's right.
And then
it's been so long. I think you're the synopsis.
Am I the synopsis?
I think you're the synopsis this week because I did the Knowles. Okay. So let me wrap things up for you guys real quick. Okay, so here's the session in a nutshell. Things you need to make sure you do. First off, this episode is about Quicklings and a drunken adventure. Now, Quicklings, they're not a big bad. They're not a boss fight. They're barely even a fight. They've got little health and tiny AC, they can do okay damage, but what they can do is move really fast and essentially not be seen. They love causing mischief. This session is all about giving your players a break from the serious and giving them some silly. They arrive at a town where everyone hates adventurers, and your party's probably going to be the same. Your party wakes up after a night of carousing, drinking. And when they wake up, their equipment's gone. Everything in the town has been messed up. All of the food's destroyed. All of the beer's been drunk. All of the relationships have been soiled. All of the prisoners have been let loose. There's all the horses. There's a horse in your bed, a live horse. Don't know why. Everything's crazy. It's a hangover movie, and your players are to blame. And they've got to go through and find whatever it is that's causing them to be seen as guilty and catch it, or else they're going to be punished for everything, or at least charged for everything. But that's the session in a nutshell. Cam, focusing in, giving us that synopsis. What scene are you seeing in your mind right now?
I got two things for you. First and foremost, We're going to do Crazy Steve.
Good.
We owe it to the world. He's our newest character. He's joining the ranks of like Gearbot Gary and
Shannon, the mage.
Shannon, the Discord mage, and Valley Girl Wizard, and some of our greatest hits.
I miss Shannon. Shannon, come back.
Yeah, I miss Shannon too. Shannon, come back and show us all the ads about Unique and all your other pyramid schemes that we need to buy. So, that's the first thing. It's Crazy Steve. Secondly, it's our anniversary. We should do a joint synopsis.
Oh, you're crazy.
You're crazy, Steve.
What do we do? I don't know.
You play Crazy Steve.
I don't want to take this from you, Cam.
You're not going to take it from me. You just have to trust me.
Okay,
right?
I'll trust you.
It's trustful. It's audio trustful.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Your players walk into an old building. Holes the shape of a fairy in the windows all around. You see pebbles crunch underneath your feet as you walk through the wood plank, or on the wood planks. And as you push open the door, a bell jingles up top, and you hear some rustling from behind a counter, and then a man with thick Coke bottle glasses pops up and peeks his head over the counter and says,
"Who's there? Come to terrorize old Crazy Steve? Come to tease me about my little blue man? Just like everybody else."
Your players stand in shock as they witness Crazy Steve, a man that has been terrorized by a tiny blue monster that everyone in the town says doesn't exist. Your players continue to ask him about this crazy blue monster, and he says,
"I seen it with my own two eyes, and this eye right here." He pulls up his glasses, and it's just a horribly disfigured eye. Just something must have happened to it. He said, "I seen it with this eye right here. Saw it clear as day. That was back when I was a fisherman. But then, a fish hit me in the eye so hard that my eye exploded." And they said, "Oh, Crazy Steve just likes kissing the fish. But I don't like kissing the fish. It was the little blue man who done did it to me. But no one believes me. Do you believe me? Do you believe in the little blue man?"
Just then, as he is screaming about a little blue man, a flash of blue light appears across the counter in front of him as a spinning gold ring is left directly spinning in front of him.
"That's his calling card. He's here in my own house, tormenting me all these years. Can't leave me well enough alone, but I'm gonna get him one of these days." He grabs the ring. "I'm gonna get him, and I'm gonna show him what I'm gonna do with all these little gold rings."
He tosses the gold ring into a pile, and he shows you a map. Points directly to one specific tree with massive red paint circled around it thousands of times.
"This is it. This is where he lives. This is where he thinks of all his torturous little plots, how to make my life miserable. I'm sure he's made your lives miserable too. That's why you're not wearing any clothes. That's why you don't have half of your hair. The little blue man's been teasing you, but tonight we can catch the little blue man. You and Crazy Steve."
Oh, that's it. God, I need Crazy Steve.
I love Crazy Steve.
I need Crazy Steve in my life.
He's my next player character, Crazy Steve. He's a warlock. warlock class.
The little blue man is his patron. The little blue man is my patron is Neek. I believe in his presence in my life.
He's quick.
He's shown me pain to show me light.
Dude, I love that, actually. Like, I love that so much. Oh, gosh. Okay, well, Cam,
so
where can people find us? If they're interested in more Crazy Steve, in more Fit G, where can they find us? And maybe tell them a little bit more about Heritage.
You can find us over at FitGD&D on Twitter. You can find a lot of links for our Discords and our Reddits in there as well. We don't have a lot of places to go find us. Probably should make more places for people to find us, if you want to go on Facebook, stuff like that. We don't have that stuff yet, but we'll figure it out sooner or later. But those are the three main places you can definitely reach out to us and talk with us directly. If you want to ask questions to us, or even more importantly, the community, with tons of great DMs in our Discord community. It's a great resource.
I'm literally looking right now to someone who's new to the community and was asking, like, hey, how can I make non-magic weapons magical? And one of the guys in the community sent him a link. That's so awesome. I really appreciate everybody on the Discord just helping each other.
It's really, really great. It's really, really great. You can also catch Rich and I on our friend Cameron's podcast.
That's right. Another Cameron. It gets more confusing.
Mm-hmm. It is, yes. He is the GM of the Coventry podcast. He's got a great full arc campaign already done on that show, and he was doing a side arc with us using a Powered by the Apocalypse system mask, and we played as two superheroes along with our friend Adam from Roaring Trainers.
So much fun.
We are very lucky. Yeah, but that's the beautiful thing about this 1 year anniversary is we've made good friends with these guys. Like we love Adam. We talk to Adam all the time. We talk to Cameron all the time. We've become friends with these guys, and it's just it's a blessing to be able to do this weekly or every other week and share this with you guys. And yeah, man, it's been a joy. And so that's where you can find us, and that's where you can find my happiness.
That's where you can find my happiness. You know what? Well, Cam, I'm talking to future Cam, and I'm sure future Cam's gonna love this. If you can put in some soft, some mellow, like piano music, or that one song that everybody sings every New Year's, like, you know the one. Yeah, that's the one right there. And then, you know what, guys? From 1 year of filling the gaps, me and Cam, we can't appreciate enough this community. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you guys on the next one. We're not an actual play podcast, but we hope that after a year, you can steal plenty of ideas and be inspired to run your own games with your own ideas. Impress your players with your own creativity. If us two idiots can do it, you guys can do it too. And here's to another year of filling in the gaps. Beautiful. So good.